With pleasure, I now present Mr. J. Lassarini Mathur, candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Science Biology and Bachelor of Arts in International Studies, who will offer some remarks on behalf of the student community of the College of Arts and Sciences.
So who's ready for the bulls to take their talents to South Beach? Thank you, Dr. Buckholz, Father Garrison, and Dean Fennell, faculty and administration, esteemed guests, family and friends, and most importantly, the class of 2011. Many of us have overcome numerous struggles and obstacles to get to the point we are at now. Paying for college, finding a major, or even dealing with the distance of family and friends. Some of us dealt with more than others. However, I bet there are a few that have dealt with as much as my childhood friend, Nick. Nick had a reputation growing up. He was wild, unpredictable, and the kid that would literally do anything for $5. Nick got mixed up in some wrong crowds and ended up in rehab a few times. You could say he loved life a little too much. One day, he was having terrible back pain that would not go away. After seeing a doctor, he was told he had a very severe case of synovial sarcoma, cancer in his spine. There are only a few facilities in the world that could treat him. Nick had to drop out of college and put his life on hold. After about a year of grueling and vigorous treatment, all of the cancer they detected was gone. It took Nick some time, but eventually he got reacclimated. And right when things looked great for Nick, his best friend David died of an overdose. Nick looked death in the eye and didn't blink, but his best friend did. The kid that would do anything for $5 seems all grown up now. Nick isn't here today. He is receiving treatment from the NIH this week because cancer came back in his lungs. So why do I talk about Nick? Is there going to be some sort of cheesy link to hardship? No. It's because Nick does something that few have ever done and that few ever will. He inspires me. He inspires me to live a stronger life. And he inspires me to take risks and to challenge myself. To me, Nick is a strong and positive inspiration. But first, congratulations. You are part of an elite group. A mere 72% of Chicago high schoolers plan on getting a bachelor's degree. Of that, only 41% will ever enroll in an institution that grants one. 29% of America has a bachelor's, and an abysmal 1% worldwide. So be proud of your accomplishment. But what does that mean? It moves your starting blocks up 5 meters in the 100-meter dash. For many of us, this is not our last graduation. And for all of us, this is not where we stop learning. You have a long way to go and a lot of people to meet on the way there. I want to ask you to make a difference for just one of them. Be an inspiration to someone else. Strive to be the reason that someone else strives to be a better person. It's Nick's endurance that inspires me. His backstory is very unique and makes me want to be that better person because of it. However, you already inspire others with the things that you do and will continue to do so over time. It starts with being a good student, being a good friend, and being a good worker. It develops into being a good person, being a good parent, and ultimately living a good life. There are a lot of different majors and passions represented in this room, from chemistry to criminal justice and anthropology to mathematics. This institution has allowed you to develop your interests over time. Hopefully, they've developed enough where you are ready to live your life around them. So please, I also ask you to live your life on the intersection where your passions and the needs of humanity find each other. You all have a bachelor's of science. So how many times have you heard someone say, I hate science, or I hate math? And how many of those Chicago public high schoolers could have used your help and expertise? Did you even try to use your talents in the city of Chicago? I read a stat after applying here that 90% of Loyola students participate in community service. So did you? Or will you? Just in the areas around Loyola, there are many opportunities to get involved with soup kitchens, with community building efforts, and refugee groups. Bachelors of Science are needed all over the community. Healthcare is not accessible. Children struggle with simple math and science. Counselors of all sorts are needed by the boatload, and many organizations just need a statistician who does nothing harder than any of your intro stats classes. Rarely is a man's legacy indicative on what he does for himself, but often is it indicative on what he does for others. Now that you have a college degree, use it. Use it in your community, and use it to make a difference for others. Use it to take some chances, and use it to teach someone else. We have a long way to go, so keep in mind that you will miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. The only way of finding the limits of the possible is by going beyond them into the impossible, and always remember to dream big. Nick inspires me to be a better person, so please be that for someone else. Act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. Being good is commendable, but only combined with doing good is it useful. You will make a living on what you get, but ultimately you will make a life on what you give. Ladies and gentlemen, your education does not stop here. Your life goals don't end with a degree, and your future isn't contingent on everything that you know right now. There's more to learn, and there's more to do. You have a whole life ahead of you, so live it, and live it extraordinarily. And I will bet you, the best way to live an extraordinary life is to go forth and set the world on fire. I want to thank the administration for their unwavering support over the past 3, 4, or even 5 glorious years of Loyola. To all of those sitting in the bleachers, you are our inspiration, and never stop being that. And to the class of 2011, if there's one thing you need to take away from your college experience, it's to stay thirsty, my friends. Thank you very much.
The candidate for the honorary degree will now be presented.